What's up guys? This is Sir Ken again with another video. And this time naman po, pag-aaralan natin ang loops in Java po. So, kung hindi pa po tayo subscriber ng aking YouTube channel, i-click nyo na po yung red button dyan sa baba. Then, mag-start na po tayo. So, this is loops in Java. And let's start. So, pag narinig natin ang salitang loops, diba? So, pag narinig natin ang salitang loops, so, may dalawang pumapasok sa isip natin. It's either paulit-ulit siya or continuous yung process niya hanggang ma-reach yung limit niya. So, ano po ba talaga si loops natin? Well, in Java loop statement, according to our source online, in programming languages, loops are used to execute a set of instruction or functions repeatedly when some conditions become true. There are three types of loops in Java. Meron po tayong tinatawag na for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So, yan po yung itatackle natin ngayong araw na to. And this is the summary of it. Well, for loop, the Java for loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times. If the number of iteration is fixed, it is recommended to use for loops. Well, the Java for loop, so while loop is the Java while loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times if the number of iteration is not fixed. It is recommended to use while loop. Now, pagdating naman po kay do while loop, the Java do while loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times. Use it if the number of iteration is not fixed. And you must have to execute the loop at least one. So that is do while loop po. So para mas maintindihan po natin yung topic natin today, so meron po akong mga set ng example na ginawa po. So unahin po muna natin si for loop. Well, for loop, the Java for loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times. If the number of iteration is fixed, it is recommended to use for loop. So there are three types of for loops in Java. There are simple for loop, for each loop, or enhanced for loop, labeled for loop po. So, paano po ba nagwo-work si for loop po natin? So, for example po, nagbigay tayo ng set of initialization sa kanya. So, let's say, si initialization natin, nag-start siya from 0. Then, meron tayong sinusunod. Let's say, ang equivalent niya is 5. So, naglagay tayo I is equal to 0 or initialization is equal to 0. So, ang equivalent niya is, ang condition natin is 5. So, limit niya 5. So, obviously, pag naglagay tayo ng I less than 0, I less than 5, automatically, true yung statement po natin. So, pag true yung statement po natin, magpo-provide siya dito ng 1. So, meron na tayo ditong imaginary 1. Yan. So, meron na po tayo imaginary 1. And then, after that po, since po, again, continuous yung process natin, mag-i-increment lang po siya. So, burahin po na natin to. Ayan. So, ulitin natin. So, I is equal to 0. So, I less than 5. Ayan. So, I less than 5. So, ngayon, kada true yung statement po na gagawin po natin, magpo-provide po siya ng output. Again, kada true yung statement po natin, magpo-provide po siya ng output. So, ngayon, ang laman po ni I natin is 0. So, I less than 5 is equal to 0. So, pwede. So, possible. True yung condition po natin. Kaya, magde-display po siya ng output. Ngayon, since nag-display po siya ng output, meron pa po tayong tinatawag na increment or decrement. So, let's say, gusto natin mag-increment siya. So, pag nag-increment siya, automatically, yung output po natin, automatically yung value po ng I po natin is mag-iiba na. magiging 1 na po siya. So, once po na tinawag po nating increment, meaning na nagdadagdag tayo or nagdadagdag tayo ng number. So, I less than 5. Is it true? So, ang laman na po ng I natin is 1. So, 1 less than 5. Of course, it's true. That's why it will provide an output. And then, so on and so forth. So, ang laman niya na po 1, mag-i-increment siya, magiging 2, hanggang ma-reach na po yung limit natin. So, 1, 2, 3, hanggang 4 po. So, bakit hanggang 4 lang, sir? Kasi po, pagka po umabot siya ng 5, 5 less than 5, obviously, is not, obviously, hindi na po sila, hindi na mas malaki si 5 kay 5. Equal na sila sa isa't isa. So, magiging false na yung condition. So, remember guys, na gagana lang tong condition po natin, or gagana lang to si for loop natin, once na the condition is true. So, dedire-diretso lang siya ng magdediretso ng output hanggang ma-reach niya na yung certain limit niya. Now, para mas magets natin, kasi ang pangit ng sulat ko, para mas magets po natin yung sinasabi ko, let's try coding it po. Ayan. So, for example, meron tayong for loop. So, we will use for para po sa ating for loop po. So, for, and then int, or int I, or kung ano yung data type natin. So, int I, let's say, I na lang gamitin natin for, stands for initialization. Then, 0. So, nag-start po tayo sa 0. I less than 5. So, linimit po natin na hanggang 5 siya, and then I++. So, pag binaran po natin si program natin, so, mag-run siya ng 0, 1, 2, 3, hanggang 4 po. So, again, bakit? Kasi po, katulad ng sinabi sa inyo kanina, so, 0 yung start po natin, 0 less than 5, it's true. So, provide an output. And then, increment po. So, imagine, hindi na to, so, excluded na siya. So, magiging 1 na yung value niya. 1 less than 5. So, true pa rin. Kaya, nag-provide siya ng output na 1. And so on and so forth po. So, ganun po gumana si for loop po natin. So, maganda rin siyang gamitin, si for loop po natin. Like, for example, sinabi ko sa inyo na create a program. Yan. So, create a program that will provide an output na, so, that will provide output na nakalagay is STEM Teacher PH. So, this is a tribute para kung kilala nyo na kasi sino siya. So, STEM Teacher PH. Yan. So, of course, madali lang nating makapag-create ng output na STEM Teacher PH ng isa lang. Paano pag sinabi ko sa inyo na create an output na lalabas si program ng 5 times? So, of course, madali lang din. Ika-copy-paste lang natin. Then, makakapag-provide tayo ng STEM Teacher PH po. Now, halimbawa naman, gusto natin 10 times. Madali pa rin. Pero pag 100 times natin siyang pinaran, so obviously, mahihirapan na po tayong tansyahin yung laman niya. So, that is why magandang gamitin dito si for loop po natin. Let's say for int I 0, and then I, then sabihin natin ang laman niya is 100. I++, system.out.println, then STEM Teacher PH. So, automatically, magra-run po ng 100 times na STEM Teacher PH. Ito pong program po natin. So, that's how our for loop is used po. So, yun po yung halimbawa ng ating for loop po. So, next natin is, ayan, so again, si for loop po natin is meron po siyang initialization, meron po siyang condition, increment or decrement, and then yung statement na gagawin po natin. So, remember this part. Inside the for is used to separate our codes for initialization, condition, increment, or decrement. So, ito pong part na to, ito po yung nagse-separate sa kanila para mag-function well po sila isa-isa po. So, always remember po that. So, for each loop, the for each loop is used to traverse array or collection. In Java, it is easier to use than simple for loop because we don't need to increment value and use subscript notation. Well, it works on elements, basis, not index, and it returns element one by one in a defined variable po. So, paano po ba siya nagwo-work? Again, there is a syntax. So, initialization, condition, and then nag-i-increment po. So, that's how our for loop is used po. So, anyway, let's proceed na po sa ating while loop. So, while loop naman po natin, well, the Java while loop iterates the elements for the infinite number of times. It should be used if the number of iteration is not known po. So, that is how while loop goes. So, pakita ko lang sa inyo yung sample code po natin for while loop po natin. So, anyway, this is how it works po muna. First, we have the condition. So, when we have the condition, magpaprovide din siya ng statement, continuous, hanggang po ma-reach na yung limit natin. So, dito lang po, pag while loop po natin, once it is false po, so once the statement is false, or once the condition is false, so once the condition is false, automatically, it will provide an blank. So, it will provide an blank. So, para maintindihan po natin, let's do a sample code for while loop po natin. So, first po natin, pag nagagawa po tayo ng while loop, is the initialization. So, int I, let's say 0 po ulit. Then, after that, while I less than 10. So, same na lang din ng output po natin para mas maintindihan natin. Then, system.out.println I++. Then, pag pinaran po natin si program, automatically from 0 to 9 po, magpo-provide po siya ng ating output. So, let's say, ibahin natin si program. Let's say 11. So, once po na nagkaroon po, sa while loop natin, once po na nagkaroon siya ng error, once po na false yung condition na gagawin natin sa kanya, hindi po siya magpa-provide po ng output. So, katulad po nung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina. Ganun po yung ginagawa ng while po natin. So, may provide siyang output once po na ginamit po natin yung ating final topic, which is si do while loop po natin. Ayan. So, anyway, this is the syntax for while loop. So, first is the initialization, the while condition, and then lastly, yung increment or decrement po natin na gagamitin. So, do while loop naman po. So, pwede natin siyang ihambing or pwede natin silang ipareho at some point sa ating if-else condition po. Well, do while loop is iterates the element for the infinite number of times, like while loop, but code is executed at least once whether the condition is true or false po. So, paano po ba gumana si do while loop po natin? So, first, meron tayong statement and then condition. So, if it is true, dire-diretso lang po siya magpo-provide ng output. While if it is false po, so meron na po siyang kino-consider po na answer po. So, para mas maintindihan po natin on how do while loop works po, let's provide again an example. So, first po natin na gagawin po is, again, initialization. So, int I is equal to 0. And then, do. So, do. It indicates po na do po, or do while loop yung ginagawa po natin. So, do. Then, system.out.print ln. Then, kung ano po yung pinangalan po natin dito sa ating data type or unique name sa ating data type. So, I. And then, after that po, I++ po. So, of course, may medyo problem tayo dito sa ating code. Which is, again, it is do while loop po. That's why we have to create a while po, or we have to create a condition. So, based po doon sa natutunan natin, si while po yung may laman po nung condition natin na sinusunod. So, maglalagay lang po tayo ng while sa loob po ng, or sa labas ng ating do. So, while bracket po muna, then I, or kung ano po yung pinangalan nyo, then kung less than, kung ano yung limit na gusto nyo. Let's say, hanggang 5 yung gusto ko na limit ng code ko. Ayan. So, pag pinaran natin si program, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's how do while loop goes. Again, meron po siyang pinaprovide muna na certain. So, pinaprovide niya muna yung si do natin bago po siya let's say, halimbawa, mali po yung linagay natin na value dito. At some point, magpo-provide pa rin po siya ng i-output po natin. Unlike sa while po natin, once po na error yung condition natin, or once po na meron tayong mistake na linagay po dun sa condition natin, is hindi po magdedire-diretso yung code po. And that's how a do while loop goes po. So, that ends our discussion for today. But before that, I like lang po na maglagay ng infinite loop. So, maglalagay lang po ako. So, paano ba maggawa ng infinite loop po? So, ganito po maggawa ng infinite loop, or yung pinakamadaling way para makapagawa ng infinite loop. So, maglalagay lang po tayo ng dalawang semicolon dito. So, as a tribute to my friend po, so I love STEM PH. Ayan. So, pag pinaran natin yung program, mag-unlimited na po siya na run po. So, and that's how looping goes po. So, mag-stop lang po yan unless terminate ko po yung code po natin. And that ends our lesson for today. I hope you learned something, and thank you everyone. Have a great day.